There's a specific kind of intelligence that elite power players use to stay 3 steps ahead, yet it's never taught in schools or written in any textbook. Why is it that the valedictorians, the rule followers, the ones who colored inside the lines, they often end up working for the rebels who barely passed? We're fed this narrative from childhood. Be good, be quiet, work hard, and the world will reward you. But look at the reality around you. Does the system actually reward the meek, or does it consume them? There's an ancient principle, a form of strategic awareness that separates the players from the pawns. They don't discuss this in boardrooms, you won't find it in self-help books, and motivational speakers rarely touch it. It's the unspoken code of the truly formidable. It's the art of becoming strategically invisible, and it's the only thing standing between you and being used by others. If you've ever felt like your kindness is mistaken for weakness, if your hard work gets stolen by someone else, or if you constantly find yourself reacting to other people's drama, this breakdown will change your wiring. We're going to dissect the 5 mental shifts that transform an ordinary, reactive mind into a precise, strategic instrument. First, we have to unlearn what smart means. Being book smart is about memorizing what already exists. But the intelligence we're talking about is different. It's not about being evil or manipulative. It's about being effective. It's seeing the game of life for what it truly is. A game of interests, not sentiments. We walk around with movie script expectations, believing that if we just play the good guy, the credits will roll and we'll win. But the game doesn't end. And in the real world, the good guy who refuses to see the dark is the first one to get blindsided. The first pillar of this mindset is, master the pause, don't feed the reaction. Think about the last time someone provoked you. A colleague took credit for your idea. A friend made a snide remark. What's the instinct? Fire back, explain, justify. That flash of anger, that desperate need to clarify, that's exactly what the other person is feeding on. They pulled your string and you danced. The strategic mind, however, builds a filter. When the attack comes, they don't hear just the words, they hear the intent. They ask, why are they saying this? Are they insecure? Are they trying to assert dominance? They observe the attack like a scientist observing a chemical reaction. They don't become the reaction. By not reacting, you take the fuel out of their fire. When you stay calm while others spiral, you become the most dangerous person in the room. You hold the only thing that matters, control of yourself. This requires you to abandon a comfortable lie. The lie that most people have your best interests at heart. The philosopher who understood power dynamics better than anyone stated that a man who wishes to profess goodness at all times will come to ruin among so many who are not good. This isn't cynicism, it's clarity. You must learn to see people not as you wish them to be, but as they are. This leads us to the second quality, which is the skill of reading the unspoken. Quality 2, surgical observation, listening to the silence. Average people listen to words. Strategists listen to the space between words. They scan for micro-expressions, shifts in posture, and inconsistencies in tone. When you meet someone, stop trying to impress them and start decoding them. Who laughs too loud at a mediocre joke? They are seeking approval. Who changes their demeanor when a superior enters? They are playing a role, not being themselves. Who uses I and me constantly? They are feeding a fragile ego. This information is ammunition. When you understand the hidden motivations of the people around you, you can predict their moves before they make them. You're not just seeing the surface, you're scanning the depths. But gathering this intelligence is useless if you broadcast your own intentions to the world. Quality 3, controlled visibility, the power of the unreadable. In the age of oversharing, mystery is dead. We post our locations, our meals, our opinions, our insecurities. We make ourselves an open book and then wonder why people tear out the pages. Strategic intelligence demands that you become unpredictable. If people can't figure you out, they can't figure out how to control you. In the office, don't announce your plans, show your results. In a relationship, don't dump your entire emotional baggage on the first date. Hold something back. Create a zone of privacy. Think about the person in a meeting who speaks the least. When they finally open their mouth, everyone leans in. Why? Because their words have weight. They haven't devalued their currency by spending it on every little thought. You need to make your presence scarce. When you are always available, your value drops. When you are hard to read, you command attention. This leads directly to the most precise tool in your arsenal, your voice. Quality 4. Precision language. Words as surgical instruments. Words can start wars or end them. They can shatter a reputation or build an empire. The average person engages in verbal clutter, filler words, gossip, justifications. The strategic person speaks with intent. Every sentence has a target. You must learn to say no without apology. You must learn to extract information without asking a direct question. One method is the strategic pause. When asked a difficult question, don't rush to fill the silence. Look at them. Hold eye contact for a beat, then speak. That silence shifts the power dynamic. It shows you are composing a thought, not reacting with fear. Another technique is vocal cadence. Speak slower than you think you need to. And crucially, lower your pitch at the end of a statement. When your voice goes up at the end, it sounds like a question, seeking permission. When your voice goes down, it sounds like a fact, a declaration. You are not asking for agreement, you are stating a truth. You are removing the verbal tics, the ums, the likes, the you knows that signal weakness. But even with perfect words and controlled silence, there is a final wall you must build. It is the most difficult and the most liberating. Quality 5. Radical self-reliance, the fortress within. This is the bitter pill. Ultimately, you are alone. No one is coming to save you. No one owes you anything. Your happiness, your validation, your sense of worth, if these are dependent on external sources, a boss's praise, a partner's affection, a friend's loyalty, you are a slave. You have given the keys to your emotional kingdom to someone else. The strategic mind generates its own validation. They know their own worth. If the world applauds, fine. If the world boos, fine. The internal scale is balanced from within. When you reach this stage, you become immune to manipulation. You cannot be baited by flattery nor crushed by insult. You are like a mountain. The weather changes, but the mountain remains. This is the ultimate goal of this path, not to control others, but to be so in control of yourself that others cannot control you. So, how do we actually use this in the trenches of daily life? Let's apply this. Scenario 1. The office thief. You work tirelessly, but a colleague presents your idea as their own. The naive approach is to yell or complain to HR. The strategic approach is twofold. First, make your work visible to the decision makers before you share it with peers. CC the manager on your progress. Second, if they try to undermine you publicly, don't get defensive. Ask a clarifying question in a calm voice. That's an interesting perspective. Can you walk me through the data that supports that? Force them to explain their attack. It diffuses the bomb and often makes them look incompetent. Scenario 2. The negotiation table. Whether you're buying a car or asking for a raise, the person who shows the most desire loses. The secret is the willingness to walk away. You must cultivate an internal state of indifference. If this deal happens, great. If not, I'm perfectly fine. This non-needy energy is palpable. It shifts the power to you. Keep your body language open and relaxed. The moment you cross your arms, lean in too eagerly, or speak too fast, you signal desperation, and the other party will squeeze you for every drop. Scenario 3. The energy vampire. We all have that relative or friend who gives unsolicited criticism or tries to drag you into drama. Don't engage. Don't explain yourself. Use the gray rock method. Be utterly boring. Respond to their provocations with monosyllables. Okay. I see. Give them no emotional reaction. They are seeking fuel for their fire. When you give them nothing but dry dust, their fire goes out, and they will eventually move on to a more reactive victim. This path is lonely at first. The people who benefited from your old, people-pleasing self will resist your transformation. They will say you've become cold or arrogant. When they accuse you of changing, take it as a compliment. It means you're no longer easy to use. This is the metamorphosis. The caterpillar doesn't just grow wings, it completely dissolves inside the chrysalis. You must dissolve the old self that craved approval. This strategic awareness is not a weapon to attack others. It is a shield to protect your spirit. It is armor against a world that often mistakes kindness for weakness. A lion doesn't need to roar to prove its power. Its power is proven by its stillness, its presence, its absolute certainty. You are becoming that lion. Start today. The next time you feel that flash of anger, pause, ask, is this mine or is this theirs? The next time you're in a conversation, stop trying to be interesting and start being interested in their motives. The next time you speak, make your words count. This isn't just a philosophy, it's a training regimen. Watch this again. Let these layers sink in. Make strategic silence your default state. Make razor-sharp observation your lens, and make your unshakable self worth your foundation. When you master yourself, you are no longer a piece on the board. You become the player, and the player decides the game. Thank you.